Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to Red Pill Tamales. We about to talk about a bunch of deep stuff in a fun way because, bro, I'll be getting stressed out thinking about all the stuff going on. Like, you know, people selling out the Americans, bro. They selling us out from every angle. But, hey, shout out to San Antonio, brother. Amazing weekend, 6 great shows.
Packed shows.
You guys showed out, dude. Sunday was packed, Thursday was packed, Saturday was completely sold out, Friday was to the gills.
Thursdays and Sundays were surprising because Thursdays and Sundays, bro, those are usually like, for any shows, are usually like pretty light.
Pretty light, but it made all the world of a difference. Man, I really felt the love. I can't wait for next year. Just looking forward to it. And we just added a couple little dates, man. Anybody who missed out on the shows in Corpus Christi, like in February, like way earlier this year, we're coming back, man. We're going to come back and we're going to mix up some things and throw in some new stuff and, you know, tweak a couple things. So it's going to be still going to be a fresh show, but I really want to encourage everybody who wasn't able to make it the last time.
So make sure you guys watching this, if you're from Corpus Christi, you know somebody from Corpus Christi, you have a friend in Corpus Christi, let them know.
It sounded like he started saying Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi.
How do you sign Corpus Christi?
Some gang stuff. Corpus Christi. Yeah, shout out to that Corpus Christi. Yeah, I'm going to be out there, man. We're going to be out there. I think Marisol is going to be out there.
Yeah.
That alone, because, bro, they be like, where's Marisol? I'm a fan of your wife. When's your wife coming? Why you don't bring your wife? Where your wife
show,
at?
But where's your wife?
Like,
she's a real show.
Exactly. They're like, bring the family. I might throw her up there. I might just have to throw her up there because she needs to greet her people. Like, I might bring her up like, y'all always in my grill at the meet and greet. Why your wife ain't here? You know what, babe? Come up here and say hello real quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we have a podcast together. It's called that alone. We gonna mix up the show. Corpus Christi. We'll see you soon. I might be doing New Braunfels Thanksgiving Wednesday before Thanksgiving. But y'all just stay tuned. We appreciate the love. New merch about to drop. New merch on the way for the website. But let's get into it, man. Red Pill Tamales, RPT. So, let me ask you about this, brother. Should America take in a whole bunch of refugees? Because now you just got people being displaced and a lot of war and atrocity and stuff like that. What do you think, man? Should we just bring in people from war-torn countries?
No. I mean, right now, it's honestly, look, and I know that people are going to be like, dang, Juan, you changed. But it's like, no, like, I mean.
Right now, we are full. We're full and we're broke.
Hey, we're full.
And we're broke.
We're full. Like, dude, like.
Yeah, full.
With everything that's happening, it's almost because, like, this has turned into, like, a tactic. Honestly, it's.
Weaponized.
Because, honestly, we don't know what's happening. We don't, like. We see all the people coming in, and they're not, you know, Mexicans or anything like that. Like, a lot of them are from all different countries.
160 countries.
Just putting it in there, if you just put your thinking caps on, like, if this is some type of new aged type of warfare, as far as, like, you know how that whenever guerrilla warfare was a big tactic back in early days and stuff like that in history of wars, and then now you're looking at this could be like the new, like, taking advantage of the culture and saying, like, okay, well, this is how we fight these wars now. We use their, you know, we use their sympathy. We use different things that you've built around this culture of being, like, all inclusive to, like, sneak your people in, almost like the Trojan horse. And this could be how they're invading us. And until we figure out what that confusion is, like, of like, okay, so we have gotten people in here, we need to start exiting people out and figuring out a strategy to get that taken care of, because right now, if that's the game plan, we can be taking everybody in. Like, right now, we need to close the borders.
Yeah.
Get people back out that don't need to be here, especially ones that are on watch lists, and get those motherfuckers out, put them in jails, whatever you got to do to prevent anything from happening on our soil.
Yeah, and that's actually a perfect segue into the next topic, but I just want to say that I agree. I think you 100% right. Not to mention that part of what you were describing about Trojan horse and different types of warfare, they got this thing called unrestricted warfare. I recommend y'all look into it. There's books on it. Maybe, I don't know, do a little research. But unrestricted warfare is basically like some people. I think when they say fifth generation, that's like another similar way of saying it. But it just means like, buy off some politicians, get a couple spies mixed in, economic warfare, infrastructure, attack them from all angles, culturally, what else? Chemical, biological. It's basically like there are no rules and we're playing this long chess game. Some of these countries, bro, they've been beefing for 5,000 years. And they, the West and the East and all this stuff and religions and territories and land and should you be a state? Should you not? Are you legitimate? Like China, they had their dynasties, and they had beef with the British over this and the trade. And then you had opiate wars. So, for example, all the fentanyl coming in and 300 Americans dying a day. Arguably, that's chemical warfare. You know what I mean? There's economic warfare.
And I'm gonna say this because I don't remember if I said this on the Patreon or not, but I'll say it again. Y'all have to get your mindsets right as far as like being about America, because I know there's a lot of people that like live in America that are like, yeah, but we need to worry about other countries, and sometimes
this is stolen land.
Some of y'all talk shit about America, but like not understanding like, okay, you're gonna talk shit about America, but understand something like of why we're even in power, and understanding like we dropped nukes on people and we became like the superpower. You know what I mean? Like we didn't do it like.
We had the dollar.
We didn't do it like diplomatically, like in certain ways of like we have a better high standard of moral values than everybody else. Is like no. We got empowered through some crazy shit. So I'm just telling you guys that to understand, like, when you try to take this whole moral high ground of like, we gotta save everybody, we gotta go to other countries, and we gotta be big brother on everybody. It's like, y'all need to chill out with some of that, because it's like we didn't get here like that. Like.
Not only that, but like we're gonna mess around and we're gonna end up being a third world country. Like the dollar is falling off. We're pushing all of our enemies to be friends. Like you were supposed to keep Russia away from China, but you forcing everybody together. You know what I mean? Other countries, they're not playing fair because they got people all up in your like Twitter staff, the old Twitter 1.0, before 90% of the people got fired and they got new ownership or whatever. Yeah. I think like the Saudis were like deeply rooted in there. Now there's new reports that, and I'm gonna watch what I say because I know this is the public episode, but like at the Pentagon, y'all can look into it. There was like high up officials that were double agents working for Qatar, however you want to say it. And so it's almost like really, really complex, but through all this complexity of this war, because obviously I'm not no war historian, but I am paying attention enough to have a bullshit detector. In other words, they're gonna be using fake stuff. They're gonna use propaganda. They're gonna use psychological operations. That's what militaries do. That's what America has done in other countries to stabilize them. We didn't like their leader. They weren't playing friendly with us, so we put a little media hit piece and started getting the hearts and minds of the people to do what America's interests were. So basically, don't fall for the okie doke. Kids are dying on both sides, bro. I gotta watch what I say, right? Because the algorithm. But like, there's atrocities happening. There's a whole bunch of bad stuff, and at the same time, don't let them use that against you. For example, why should we take all the refugees when you got all these Arab countries? It's an Arab problem for the most part. Not to mention Netanyahu, Bibi, he wasn't showing Trompitas no love. He backstabbed Trompitas after everything, after all the billions we send over there for their defense. And then their military done got woke, dropped the ball, and it looked like somebody high up intended for all this turmoil to happen. Like basically, they setting it off, y'all. They setting it off. They like, hey man, set it off. And Americans are in the slumber, sleepwalking into the WW tray,
well, yeah, we need to help them. Yeah, we need to do this. It's like, no.
They want you to pick a side, and then another country controls the TikTok algorithm. So whatever they want to make you feel.
Hey, put your flags up on your profile picture. Hey. Now,
pick a side.
Now we gotta be. Now you gotta put Israel's flag up. Now take down the Ukraine one, and now put on the.
Wait a minute. Are you a terrorist sympathizer, or like, wait, are you anti-Semitic and this and that?
Yeah, and the thing is that you guys gotta understand. Like, dude, we do need to fix the. Like, the only reason we're a superpower is because like we had that rule, and now they're trying to make us a lot weaker. And if we're stretched so thin, doing this and this, and then we just get punched in the mouth, it's like, bro,
you trying to send money everywhere. Meanwhile, America's falling off, man. We got a lot of our own problems. And
we still haven't heard anything for a while for Hawaii. Some of y'all forgot about that.
Hawaii.
Some of y'all just talking about all kinds of like stupid shit. Like,
y'all worried about the Kardashians, but hey, it's all good.
All that stuff,
which we're gonna talk about on Cafecito Time.
Yeah, so tune in. To that.
No, but it's all good. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world, and I was thinking to myself when I was dropping off the kids at school. It's like, how do we eat? Because we're comedians at the end of the day. So it's like, how do we ease into these types of topics and just make it, obviously, like, still got to be entertaining, because we aren't the authority on, like, tell you what. We just like talking about it and paying attention. And I almost feel like, let's take a moment to just check our stress levels. You know what I mean? Because we're on caffeine. You see the headlines. I have no room to talk about Juan C4s, because as much coffee as I drink, like strong, espresso, red pill blend, get yours now.
Still like 90 milligrams, big dog.
Honestly,
it's like 200.
Honestly, 300. I want to ask Aaron from Grind Ops Coffee Co., the people we collab with to make our coffee, and I want to ask him, hey man, how many milligrams of caffeine you think? Because we sell the fine ground, so you could put it in your espresso pot. But let's just take a moment to like assess our stress levels and anxiety. Like, gotta keep the faith, man. You know, you gotta stay focused, and you gotta stay vigilant, and you gotta stay ready. You know what I mean? Have your little bag ready just in case something pop off. Have you some little pew-pews, you know what I'm talking about? Have some beans for your pew-pews. But this is a good segue into Trump's Agenda 47. We could put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Right here. Bow.
Yeah.
And then we'll just kind of like read it or something. Sorry, I don't want to make the editing. You want to look at that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just put it. Let me see this.
Is it my screen real dark?
No, yeah, a little bit.
Make it brighter.
Trump plan. Well, I don't know.
Here. Oh my God.
It's your phone.
He doesn't know how to use an iPhone.
I was trying to use it. It's got like this whole thing on it. Okay.
Here, I'll read it. Ready? All right. So in case you guys missed it, Trump has been putting out these Agenda 47, where he basically says what policy he has a plan to do what got to be done. So this one here was posted about his plan to keep jihadists and their sympathizers out of America. That sounds pretty common sense to me. Like, you don't want jihadists all up in your community, bro. I think that's pretty safe to say. I think maybe the argument from the left might be like, people are going to be labeled jihadists, and just because they have a certain complexion or accent or last name, they're going to be singled out, and this is like a red flag law for the sympathizers. All right. So his plan is to reinstate and expand Trump travel ban on entry from terror-plagued countries, territories, and places. It makes sense to me, because Biden and them, they undid the travel ban, and the media called him racist for even having a travel ban. Re-implement a full suspension of State Department refugee resettlement. In other words, what Obama did when he was like, Somalia going through some shit, all right, bring me a couple million, drop them off in Minneapolis. You send a whole bunch of like people from terror-friendly places and put them in Dearborn, Michigan. All right. Implement strong ideological screening for all immigrants to the U.S. Sympathy for jihadist, Hamas, or Hamas ideology will be automatically disqualified. Makes sense. Aggressively deport resident aliens with jihadist sympathies. Why not? Revoke the student visas of radical anti-American and anti-Semitic foreigners at colleges and universities. I think that was a good time to say, hey, man, if you don't want to be here, proactively send ICE to pro-jihadist demonstrations to enforce our immigration laws and remove the violators from our country. it goes on and on. Invoke the Alien Enemies Act to accelerate domestic deportations. Basically, try to get them up out of here. What you think, bro? They're gonna raise hell about it?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna attack him no matter
They're gonna
what.
say
but
he's
this is like
Islamophobic.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a whole,
transphobic.
That's gonna be a field game for the left. That's all.
It's
they're gonna see that, they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, how could he do this?"
Even though they changed their tone on the wall, because they're seeing that, like, bro. By the way, I heard like when they be bussing, like they be bussing when DeSantis. That's why I can never have a job on Blaze TV or something, because they're like, you cannot say they be bussing. when Ron DeSantis commenced to extract migrants, or whatever you want to call them, illegal aliens, putting them on buses, sending them to New York or whatever, that's taxpayer money, bro. So like, I know Texas, man, when they go down there to put the barbed wire, that's probably taxpayer money for DPS, because the federal government isn't doing their best to protect our borders, even though we worried about Ukraine's borders and Israel's borders. So, yeah, man, they're gonna call him all kind of races.
Like they're just gonna use it for an excuse to call him the racist thing, even though, like, you know, anytime the left is like, you gotta put your mask on, like, that's fine. But like, whenever it comes to something like this, it's like, okay, we gotta stop these people from coming over. It's like, oh no, like,
you're being radical.
That.
You're being radical, enforcing laws, getting potential terrorists out. What? But look, unfortunately, bro, when something really, really bad, when some of those people in those cells, those sleeper cells, and when they get the green light to set it off, that's when the discussion is going. When Trump's going to look more correct and like, you know what, we probably should have had a travel ban. Like, you know, maybe we should have deported some of those people or paid attention more.
I don't think it's going to be as obvious, like, because like something tells me, something tells, like, okay, what tells me this is like the whole train derailments at the beginning of the year. They made it look like an accident, like, and it's like, if you have all these splinter cells everywhere, and I'm just saying that there's probably splinter cells everywhere.
Yeah, there are.
Like, the thing to do is to keep the confusion going and to keep the border open is, if you are going to do anything crazy, they're trying to make it look like, oh, like natural accidents, that was a coincidence that blew up or that did happen. Not, okay, until they're ready to start war. Because then when that happened, what happened with in the Middle East? No, but like, remember Israel? Back in the day, it's like all of a sudden they declared war, and it's like when the U.S. deploys and they bring us together, when they do that kind of stuff, it's like, let's do that. But if it's confusion, and if
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like
9/11.
If we're like, oh, you want to attack us on our home soil, this was gonna happen. You know, we get our shit together. So if you can confuse us, like, well, we don't know, and maybe.
Unfortunately, we get our shit together and we get patriotic, and then they put out the yellow ribbon, and then you got to stand with the troops, and then they're like, you stand with the troops, and everyone's like, yeah, you against terrorism and people attacking our freedom. It's like, yeah, it's like, all right, we're going to Iraq. Check this out, man. There's some oil over there, and they got WMD, and it's like, whoa, it's like, what do I do with all this patriotism? And I want some retribution. But yeah, man, it's an interesting play, like the infrastructure terrorism. It's like death by 1,000 cuts.
So like, y'all have to pay attention, because not everything's gonna be coincidence. Like, y'all need to be able to discern, like, let me really look at this, because the way I think they're playing dirty is because they know, like, okay, anytime anybody goes out to the U.S., they get fucked up. So if there is something that's going on, it's probably more than likely gonna be like, that was a weird coincidence that whatever blew up, or that's a weird coincidence that another train derailed, or this is a weird coincidence that they can't go in this area anymore because of whatever. It's like
just death by 1,000 cuts. And another thing too is that when Trompitas was in charge, the previous administration, he was doing surgical strikes on big leaders, like the Persian dude, Iranian Soleimani. He did and like only killed them. Like, it wasn't just innocent people, blowing up whole villages and stuff. It was literally like, I'm ready to pull the trigger now. Meaning like, he kept all these groups at bay, and he did it by taking out just the heads of the snake. Like, he wasn't trying to put Americans in danger of trying to go door to door in urban combat. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Trompitas. That's why Waka Flocka endorsed him. The rapper Waka Flocka. You know he's a gamer now, bro. He's like super into gaming, bro.
I mean, the money people making on Twitch,
man,
gamers too, dog.
Hey, bro, why the hell? Man, look, as soon as my wife gets back, hey, check this out.
We're on a game plan. Hey, I'm be like, babe, look, okay, we made a whole presentation of why I need to play video games.
Yeah. No, she's gonna knock on the door, and I'm gonna be like, move her out the way, like, oh, I thought you was Amazon. I just ordered a PS whatever number they're on.
Oh, dude.
PS 15. I don't know. I don't keep up, but yeah. So Waka Flocka. He's like a gamer. Apparently he's a super smart dude. Number one, because he's making money off gaming. Number two, he endorsed Trompitas. Some would argue like he just wants clout because he has this big gaming competition coming up, and they refuse to believe that a minority could think for themselves and just look at the facts of like we were safer, we were more prosperous. You know what I mean? On pretty much every level.
Well, that's the funny thing is that they call him racist and they're doing that whole thing, but like black people are like endorsing him, like minorities are endorsing him a lot more.
Except
now.
Fools Gone Wild,
and
because they have not gotten the memo. They're still stuck on identity politics. They're like, we're against lames and we're against racists. It's like you voted for one, you dummy.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny that the people call him racist. Like a lot of it is like white people like. I mean, he's racist. It's like
the white liberals.
I don't know, man. Like
the Rachel Maddows with the little boy haircut.
I don't know. Whenever he was having when he was going into jail, like there was all those people protesters and stuff. They were wearing certain shirts and stuff like that.
What do you mean?
Those fire shirts. Remember the fire shirts? They were like talking about we stand with Trump. We stand with Trump. Remember?
Okay. Because you said protesters. Yeah, it threw me off. Yeah, I know what you mean.
What are they called? What do you call those people? Those are like protesting, like free Trump.
They're protesting the injustice.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
I feel you, bro. I'm slow this morning. I'm a little groggy. I know y'all hear it. But that's super cool.
You're used to hearing the word protester and thinking, like the white liberals, not like the other kind of protesters.
Yeah. You're right.
We associated with
it's just but they were also pro-Trump. You know what I mean? So they were like supporting Trump while protesting the injustice that they were seeing.
We stand with Trump. I should free him now. That's our president.
Dude, there's another female rapper. Her name is Sexy Red, I think is her name. But she's, I think, from like Memphis or something. She's popping. She's blowing up. And, she part of that, bad B mentality. The new ratchet, the stuff that Lil' Kim started, showing her torta all on the poster. And then Nicki Minaj got her stuff always hanging out. Megan Thee Stallion always twerking, all on the lens, all on Instagram,
all up in the video,
all with the got on the all in the lens. You know what I'm saying? Putting all that haram out there.
All the haram.
Nicki Minaj, all these little chicks, man. Ice Spice and Jenny 69.
Haram with the double D.
Haram 69. But Sexy Red, she also had a little viral clip where she was being interviewed by somebody, and she basically was like, I like Trump. She's like, he cool. Like, he about money and whatever else she said. Like, she's like, I think he's funny. He's honest. Like, he's transparent. He's likable.
He's honest in his own way.
And I know the legacy media, both sides included, that's Fox News as well, owned by the Australians, they were probably losing their shit because they're trying to push. They can't wait to push Ron DeSantis or somebody else who ain't Trump, who ain't populist, who ain't ultra mega MAGA. And so they're probably like, no, we're tired of these rappers and minorities thinking for themselves. Lil Wayne, Kodak Black. That's why I started being more vocal on Twitter and Periscope, because Lil Wayne had already endorsed. And I'm like, oh, the coast is clear. We good.
Nope.
Not for you. Not for you, little boy. But yeah, man. Just for that, all the conservatives, all the populists, America First people are gonna be jamming. It's a party. It's a party. It's a party. Speaking of rappers, man.
Yeah, so I saw this thing with Drake. It was like a little video, and I was like, man, that's the weirdest intro I had ever seen at a concert. And I was like, hey, man, what are you trying to say here, Drake? Like, yeah. So check this clip out. All right, and
then we'll discuss.
Just play it. You saw it, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, we could talk about it. All right.
What you think about it?
So here's my take. When you have a mega pop star, like a global pop star, and they're producing a stadium tour, what leads into it, for the most part, besides rehearsals and coming up with the branding and what cities and all that, is piecing together your show with like some kind of really cool dramatic intro. Mm-hmm. Like whether it's Maná or Aventura, they're trying to figure out how they're going to step on the scene, how they're going to be revealed. Even taking your kids to go see Belly Beto or something, they're going to have some kind of theme. So apparently Drake chose to, this is how I took it, bro. Everybody knows he's like half Jewish, raised by his mom in Toronto, Jewish household, right? And I feel like he was kind of saying like, hey, now, let's not forget, I also watched Fresh Prince. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I know y'all know me as the Nickelodeon guy. Even though he's past that, he's already like proven like, hey, bro, you got enough bars to have some street cred. Even though you know you're a little goofy to some people, some of the street and hood people can't get past of just how like awkward he is at times. Mm-hmm. Or his wearing barrettes. What do you call them? Some of his style choices.
The raspberry berets.
Barrettes. The little cositas para las niñas. I was thinking about the chonguitos.
What was his name?
Prince.
Yeah.
Raspberry beret. Can you find at a second hand store? Yeah, I need to wake up. So look, bro. So apparently, we just finished seeing this. Is that a human? Is that a hologram?
So he says it's Peter Pan or something, but it looked like a little demon thing.
The little thing that was flying around.
And then after it turns into like Peter Pan, but like it looked like a demon at first. It
was a shadow at
shadow
first.
Like a thing with horns.
Yeah, and think about how that is contrasted with like Kanye's branding. Mm-hmm. Like some of the stuff he did. That's what makes Kanye such an amazing artist, is because like his range of like knowing how to spark emotion and having an artistic angle. So a lot of times when I see artists do questionable stuff, you kind of got to look at it through the lens of like, okay, is Travis Scott really a devil worshiper, or is he just into this like rodeo theme one year and then this carnival theme the other year, and he's like, let's fucking rage, and he likes to fucking stage dive, and he likes having his crowd all packed up in. So yeah, you got to look at it through that lens too. Like, okay, maybe Drake's creative director was like presenting an idea, but at the same time it's like, bro, meanwhile Kanye would have had all white lights, people dressed in white, like choir, like hitting different chords and different notes, instead of the dark gangster demon of the 808s. And I mean, I love hip hop, but sometimes I try to be mindful of what spirits I invite into my home. So I'll try to flood it out when I am being conscious, and I do feel like waking up with like gospel music, especially on Sundays, like always on Sundays. But like today, I was bumping some just to kind of like almost like sage to like, okay, you done bumped a little 21 Savage too, bro. Like you gotta offset it with some Fred Hammond and mix it up, little Kirk Franklin.
Mm-hmm. So what most people are thinking, I don't know if you got the contrast because some of y'all watched it. It's like you're seeing him grow up, you're seeing him watch this thing, and then you see him how he was on Degrassi and how he was getting his fame, and then how it was coming up. He went to sleep, and all of a sudden, people were like saying like, well, maybe he made a deal with the devil, where it's coming up, and then now Drake comes up. You know what I mean? That's the whole imagery of the whole thing. But they're saying like, no, it's like Peter Pan, and no, it's like a dream world, and I don't know. But it just looked a little weird to be like. And
also too though, bro, some people who make content for TikTok and YouTube, they're like looking at everything. It's like sometimes they're just reaching, like you just throwing up the H or something. They're like, demonic symbolism. He's clearly a Mason. You know, he clearly made a deal with the devil. And it's like, not literally. It's like maybe they're just a little ratchet.
Maybe.
Yeah. But I think in summary, I will say this. I would encourage major artists like Drake to be more mindful and conscious and sensitive to how things may be perceived. Like somebody should have, like if I was in this crew, I would have raised my hand, and they probably would have told me to shut up, like, shut up, bro, we want to go viral. I would have said, hey, bro, the fact that it's just a dark shadow, it's a little creepy, and a lot of people are mindful of spiritual warfare, and they're going to say this shit is demonic, and you're just going to have to deal with that rumor when it comes out. And then they would have to be like, all right, so should we change the color of the shadow, or how do we make it less creepy? Maybe draw him more friendly and more whimsical, you know, and not so... Because do you believe in shadowy demon spirits like that?
I think there's a lot more weird stuff happening, like more recently than not. That a lot more like mainstream Hollywood people and mainstream like artists are coming out and actually pushing more Satanism type of stuff. And so when I see something like this, where it's like a major guy who's putting something like that out there. And let's just say, like, he doesn't do this that often, because I think what his title thing is like 6 or something. And
666.
Yeah,
I think it has to do with like Toronto's area code.
Right, he can say whatever he wants. But what I'm saying is like when this is being pushed, and let's just say you have a young kid that maybe followed him,
like my
since
daughter,
Degrassi, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, mom, you know, it's like the little foothills we talk about, where it's like
the frequencies.
Well, he's this whole time, and then all of a sudden he switches up, where it's like, okay, now this is what I'm into, this is what it is. And it's like, well, I mean, that's the one thing, but it's fine. Like I followed him for my whole career, forget it. And then all of a sudden now they're like, I'm affirming it, it's cool. And now we're listening to different things while you can like now that he's like famous, like more famous, like he's already broken out and been famous forever. Now it's like, okay, now you have this big fan base. Now there's a sense of responsibility, because at some point now you have the masses. And now what are you going to do with it? And when you have some people that get on a massive stage and either proclaim Christ or whatever, and I'm not saying you have to, but I'm saying if you're not proclaiming that and you just want to be about the music and stuff like that, that's cool too. But then when you go out of your way to like make little symbolisms, or even say like or even have anything where it's demonic, it's like, well, you're kind of proclaiming that then, and everybody else is just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like that's literally like what you're doing. Like, you know how some people are like, man, why they always gotta talk about Jesus? So like at the end of their fights or whatever, like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's like some of them like roll their eyes like, okay, dude, and or you could just talk about the fight, okay, but then when you don't do either one of those, but you're over here now, you're like on the major stage, and now you're like, you know, we're going like highway to hell or whatever it is, you're proclaiming that. You know what I mean? And I know some people are like, well, you know, while you're reaching, they're reaching. It's like,
I mean, it's there's different levels of discernment, and there's different sensitivities to stuff like this. And even as we mature, you start looking at like for example, I mean, hell, 3-6 Mafia had some really like jamming ass dark shit that was a little sinister. There was a lot of like really dark genre artistic expression where it's kind of like horrorcore. There used to be a rap group called the Gravediggers, and that shit was jamming like a motherfucker. But Gangsta Nip, it was like, I think he invented, like Houston, he was like a pioneer of like horrorcore rap, of just very edgy lyrics or whatever. However, you know, once you start looking at things through the filter of this, check this out. Why is it that popular music, and you could get specific with like, let's just say R&B, right, where it's like the Delphonics, or you had Earth, Wind and Fire, it was like na na na, and you know, Maze, happy feelings in the air. It's musicians and they're dancing and they're not saying nothing crazy. It's just like in a window, you like a woman and you want to have a good time, and there's not these dark frequencies of we some head busters, we some ATL, ho. You know what I mean? And you get in a trance and you literally be thinking like, and then there's alcohol involved. So you're really like touching people in a way where you're like, bitch, I'm glad I got my blicky. Yeah. And now you done caused some shit. So once you look at it through the filter of why is it that we went from Maze or Earth, Wind and Fire or whatever, and all of a sudden it starts leaning towards gangsta, negative, less conscious rap, less exposure for like the teachers and KRS-One and Public Enemy or whoever's trying to be conscious. It's just dark 808 snares, hi-hats. A lot of these young rappers coming up, I'll go and like peep game and research, and a lot of the bars are just like the way they structure their verses. It's like, okay, I'm gonna put a couple lines in there as to what kind of gun we gonna shoot you with, and then I'm gonna describe my shooter. Like, I got a young shooter bigger with and he ain't scared. And I put a 20 ball on your head, but it'll get you, have his mama crying at the, and it's like, damn, those are bars. So now think about what happened to why did the music change so much? There's a famous quote. It might be in the Bible, if I'm not mistaken, where it's like, whoever controls the music controls the people. I don't know if that rings a bell. But like on some culture war shit, there's rumors that some of our intelligence agencies got involved with the artistry and were basically like, hey man, I need you to keep pushing about this drugs, these pimping, keep disrespecting women, promote the gang shit.
Mm-hmm. It's like a form of hypnosis, because like with the beats and everything else, you keep a phrase in it's almost like a mantra in your head. You could, like, if you get something stuck in your head, those are words you're literally saying to yourself. So like if we look at the state of a lot of people right now, and it's probably going really deep, but like the talk in your head is very important. If you have negative self-talk, you're going to be a negative person. If you have, like, that's why there's probably so much anxiety now and depression and all this stuff. It's because literally, like, stuff you're saying in your head is like, it's a melody, but it's like, I fucking hate myself. Like, whatever it is, it's like you're literally keeping it in your head all the time, chaotic, at the forefront, singing stupid shit. And it's like, you literally don't know that you're saying negative stuff because you're saying it with a happy beat. But really, you're not. There's nothing empowering about some of the stuff. So when I'm saying that, like, I understand the whole culture thing and things like that, but like we've gone from a place where there was a lot more music that was good and there was a lot more positive messages out there back in the day, to now we're here to where it's like it's all we have and all we see and all that's out there.
That's all it gets pushed.
And so it's just all the noise now of just like negative everywhere. It's like that's not helpful to anybody. Like it's coming to a point where it's like now if you want to be like different, like literally you could make a positive song or something and it's like, oh my God, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, but like in this whole climate of like, you started one way and then you change it up and become a little bit more darker. Now you're like keeping that up there now, and like it's kind of, I think it's a little foothold. I mean,
let me end it with this question, and y'all let me know in the comments. Normally we keep these public episodes 30 minutes because we got to save all the good stuff for the patrons, man. Patreon.com/Red Pill Tamales. If you want to enter the Chingo verse. But let me end it with this question: has Beyonce ever done like a gospel song or a song about the Lord? I'm curious.
But she's on the flight list.
Oh, damn. All right. We're going to talk more about that. That's the hook. Come on over to the Patreon, get on the Discord, and we'll see you there. Patrons, they get bonus episodes. So if you want more of this, go holla at us, man. Peace.